Hello and welcome back to the HeroesHype Amateur Series. We are ready for our semifinals match, and I am Gillyweed, joined by Anna.
Hello, I'm Anna Presser Robinson. Thrilled to be here. We're going to see Hero kill Hero take on WG.
We've seen
WG.
WG. We've seen Wild Growth so many times in this tournament, but see Hero kill Hero is new to this, and I wonder if they will be able to take out our many times victor team here.
I think it's worth noting that now seeing WG notating Wild Growth is such a departure from what they used to be, which is something about cats and hats and wild things. Yeah. I don't know. But thank you, Wild Growth, for making it easier on us. See Hero Kill Hero starts out the draft by banning Lost Vikings. Poor Vikings don't get to play. They just want to hang out in their boat and have a good time and sing some songs, but they will not be allowed to. And Wild Growth bans Illidan, so exactly the same two first and second bans that we saw in the last game, Gilly.
Yeah, exactly the same. See Hero Kill Hero has the first... We're going to have to shorten that. What are we going to shorten it to?
I think See Hero sounds good.
All
yeah.
Right. We'll take the positive half of that.
Yeah, just, look at this beautiful hero. You see it? It's great.
Safe. And
yeah.
Anyway, speaking of beautiful heroes, we've got Sylvanas picked up there for C Hero. Wild Growth choosing to get Jaina Vala right off the bat. Man, they are strong together.
Yeah, and again, those are the first three picks I feel like I see almost all the time. So definitely not a surprise. But as you mentioned, Sylvanas, great pusher, but both Jaina and Vala together just deal so much damage. So See Hero, Kill Hero now knows that they're dealing with a very damaging team. So I would not be surprised to have them build a very push-centric comp on top of that Sylvanas.
Yes, for sure. And of course, with Dragonshire, the bottom lane provides such a great area for pushing too, that because of the way the Merc camps are set up, that I think that they will definitely be going for that. For now, picking up Uther and ETC, I feel like they are trying to make sure that they are able to deal with whatever Wild Growth continues to pick up here by going ahead and grabbing their full support and their tank here, and they've got a little bit to work with that way.
Absolutely. We see them with those two open slots like we saw in last game, where they can make this team almost anything they need to if they see anything weird come out of Wild Growth. Wild Growth, though, I would expect to just be building something really solid. They may be relying on their, proven strength and skill to bring them through this game. But that said, they also know that they've had a winning record, so we may see something surprising from them. Who knows? They are taking their time. And they have two damage dealers, so I would expect to see something like a healer or a tank come out before maybe another damage dealer.
Yeah, for sure. Now, of course, or they're just going to round out right off the bat and throw us way off. They're going to grab Thrall. We've started to see Thrall come back just a little bit. Not so much on this map, though. I feel like it's always been Tomb of the Spider Queen, but I do believe it's been from Wild Growth. They like the Thrall pick, and I really like how they use Sundering. They'll probably do that again here. They use a lot of times to even get away, or even just to really quickly pick one person off and turn the hero balance in their favor. So they're going to grab Thrall, and from here we should either see their tank or their support.
Yeah, very interesting that they go ahead and pick up Thrall, because I doubt that C Hero would be expecting that, or even looking to pick up Thrall themselves. As you mentioned, it's a pretty abnormal pick. But now C Hero does have the chance to react to that a little bit, which I wonder if Wild Growth wanted that. They are going to pick up Diablo to go with Thrall, so they have some good meatiness to support their delicate damaging flowers.
Yeah, they do, and Thrall does have a stun. It is a skill shot, but if you can stun right into where the overpower is, it kind of works the same way any other stun off of the overpower is, so maybe we'll see a little bit of that synergy as well. That would be pretty impressive to see them hit that.
Mm-hmm. And now, as you mentioned, we have the ability for C Hero to do whatever they need to deal with the team they see shaping up. And they're going to go ahead and go with the fall stat. Are we going to see a Tyrael too? Because that would be quite a nostalgic pick of the last game.
I would love that, man. They would have 2 tanks, but they would be pretty tanky in that way, and that'd be pretty cool. Plus, Tyrael does quite a bit of damage and can get like blood for blood at 16 too, so he can really help with that burning down aspect as well. And I mean, it's pretty cool to see the old crispy taco, as our friends at TGN Squadron have coined that term. But they are dipping into their time pool once again. They've got plenty of time to make this last pick. I wonder what they'll choose here, if they're going to go for another damage or maybe a half support, a Sapassin as you like to call them in the Tyrande or the Tassadar.
It really depends on what they're trying to accomplish here, because if they want to be the team that's going to win the team fights, I would guess they're looking for more damage. But if they want to be the team that can take all the map objectives whenever needed, I mean, Falstad has that global map presence that you mentioned. Sylvanas is a great pusher, so maybe they'll be looking for that half support, which is Tyrande. Tyrande has great vision. She has a stun. And I think that we're going to see them focused on making sure the map objectives and the lanes go their way in this game.
Yeah, you know, Tyrande has great synergy with a lot of different compositions, but of course we often see her picked with Diablo too. And so not only have they picked her up, she's going to be able to help them. She's got stuns, she's got the Hunter's Mark, and the Owl, of course, for vision. But she also, they're denying that a little bit from Diablo too. Not that they probably would have grabbed her. It looks like they're going to need a full support there, but it was maybe a possibility if they really wanted to go just, you know, try to full heal Tyrande. Possibly, but they are going to have a little bit of time here to decide on the perfect support for them, and I'm gonna guess Malfurion, just for some variety. It'll probably be Rhaegar, but hey, let's hope for Malfurion here.
Well, Malfurion's not a bad pick because the root can be really helpful along with you know, Diablo's overpower, and of course when you've got Vala and Jaina there to help melt someone down, anytime that you can hold them in place is going to be a really good thing. So you mentioned that Thrall has that skill shot stun, but it's a small one. Malfurion could be really fun. Although, that said, I think you're right. A lot of mobility comes out of Rhaegar and a lot of healing, especially with that ancestral healing being available to kind of bring someone back from almost the dead. That would not be surprising.
Yeah, for sure. I love seeing overpower into the roots.
Ooh!
Yes! How do I do this?
I'm proud. I'm proud of you, Gilly. And I think
Thank
that's
you.
a great choice. That's going to be a really cool composition to watch for the combinations that we will see. And I don't watch a lot of Thrall gameplay, so I'm interested to see how they're going to use him. What do you think we're going to see most out of him, Gilly?
Out of the Thrall, I think that we're just going to see, it'll be nice that they'll be a little bit tankier because he's got a lot of self-healing. So it's something that the healer doesn't have to worry about as much. He can focus more on the Jaina Vala as well. And he is still an assassin. He does great damage. He has that stun capability, of course, too. But I think we're just going to see him being right in the front lines, helping to zone a little bit, but still deal a lot of damage as well. And I'm personally just really hoping to see an overpower dropped into the roots at least once.
I think that's what I was hoping for too as well, and especially if Jaina and Vala are right there in the wings to rain down some fire and ice and have a concert and a rock band and melt people's faces. That's my dream.
Sometimes we see the mosh pit into the Divine Storm. Now I know everybody's like, we're picking Divine Shield now. Gilly, get off the Divine Storm hype. But you can wombo off of that pretty fun, and I love my wombos.
You know, Divine Shield is more useful for something like the Wild Growth team comp, I feel like, because you can put it on someone like Jaina, and then she can be invincible for a little while she runs around and does damage. Where See Hero, Kill Hero is drafting a team that, I don't know. I don't know if there's that superstar that you would want to build a shield around. So maybe, Gilly, maybe you get it this time?
We'll have to see. We shall. But it just is nice to just keep someone alive and make them focus on somebody else, even if it's not like that targeted like an Illidan. But we'll go ahead and introduce the teams. We've got Wild Growth running around chasing Jimmy, who is on that awesome Malfurion. We've got Killusion playing Diablo, Jordo on Thrall, Blythawk on his signature Vala, and of course Grim Reaper playing Jaina.
Those are names we recognize here at the Heroes Hype Amateur Series, and another name you might recognize, LZ Gamer, is going to be here on Falstad. Sunshine will be playing Sylvanas, Nerd will play Tyrande, Meadowtown will be on ETC, and Lex Uther will play Uther. All of them, of course, for See Hero, Kill Hero.
You know, we've seen Lex Uther a lot, and it's refreshing to see Lex Uther actually play Uther. We always see him on Rhaegar.
Yeah, and Lex Uther rolls off the tongue alongside Uther, so very nice. Well done. We appreciate that, Lex Uther.
Indeed, Lex Uther actually picking up block. So going a little tanky Uther so far here for his first talent.
Interesting. Tanking is not a bad thing. Lots of sustainability allowed. We see Collusion Jimmy and Grim Reaper SF being here down in the bottom lane, wanting to make sure that's under control. We had 4 members of Sea Hero down here, but they're doing a lot of rotation between that bottom and middle lane, which on this map, of course, you can do and is very beneficial, as there's a short distance and you can keep up that soaking in lanes. We've also got the battle between Meadowtown, the tank for Sea Hero, against Jordo on Thrall here in the top lane. Both of them just kind of butting heads, big tanky guys poking at each other.
Yeah, we often see the teams rotate between the mid and the bot on this map. They're pretty close together and you can do that, but Collusion is coming in. He doesn't really want to let them take this shrine, and they will for now move away, as Blythawk does have to come down to help his teammates fend off of those 4 members of See Hero, Kill Hero.
The top shrine will go to Sea Hero. The bottom shrine right now controlled by Wild Growth, so no one can pick up the dragon yet. And at this point in the game, go ahead, Gilly.
I was gonna say, uh-oh, somebody got overpowered, but they are going to survive for now. But Lex Luthor getting very low, and Blythawk vaulting in will be able to secure that kill, but now doesn't have the vault and is taking a lot of damage. Will be able to back off there and stay safe. That's gonna help them get a little bit closer to the level 4 talents, and they've secured both shrines for now.
They do have level 4 now, and we do see the Dragon Knight is ready to be picked up by Wild Growth, but certainly it's not going to be an easy thing to do, as Sea Hero knows they need to defend that area, and Sunshine is guarding the Dragon Shrine.
Once again, we see Jaina picking up that deep chill, just increasing the slow, which is very nice off of those overpowers, and it will help them secure a Sylvanas kill as well. And that's just going to help them continue to keep maintain a stronger map presence as they are trying to pick up this first Dragon Knight.
As you mentioned in the last game, of course, the kill timers at this point in the game are very short. So Sylvanas is going to get right back into the action. Collusion is going to grab this bottom shrine, though, for Wild Growth. And we're seeing a little bit of a seesaw effect. Neither team being able to hold on to both of those shrines for very long.
Yeah, both teams at level 5. They're at an even talent advantage here. And just rotating back and forth between the lanes as much as possible, picking up experience. In the middle of that, we did see Sea Hero pick up their Giants, and that's always really, really nice when you can just relieve a little bit of the tension off of your team. Team members coming up here, they would like to be able to either pick up Jordo as a kill, push him off from being able to get experience, but they aren't going to be able to do so too much, and they're going to continue their rotations.
Wild Growth making the choice to pick up their Siege Giants, like you said, keeping some pressure in the lanes is always a good help, and at this point in the game, that's when you start to want to make sure you're keeping an eye on that. Those will, of course, be good both offensively and defensively if necessary.
Looking at talents some more, we do see Vala once again going for that Rancor, Manticore build, so going for more of that single target damage, and even picking up Hot Pursuit on that as well as they grab their level 7 talents. Sea Hero's a little bit away from those level 7 talents. They want to be able to pick those up before they get in any sort of engagement. They're okay though because they still have that top shrine, so it's not too much of a concern. They don't have to rush to mid or anything like that, and there they do pick up level 7.
Looked for a second like Wild Growth was hoping they could lay a little bit of a trap for their opponent's Sea Hero. Lex Luthor being out of position, but being tanky and healy enough to get out of the way of those 3 members of Wild Growth who were trying to take him down. They will not secure any kills from their little trap that they laid, but they still do have control of that bottom shrine.
Oh, and actually ETC went down up top. Sorry we missed that. This would maybe enable Jordo to go and pick up that top shrine. They don't seem too concerned with it right now. Blythawk's coming in. They wanted to perhaps catch Sylvanas, but with her Banshees, she will be able to get away. We're having a little bit of a fight on the bottom, and now Lex Uther is rooted and taking a lot of damage from Jaina. Will be able to get away. I do like that Jaina took that Snowstorm talent at level 4 because that's going to mean that basically all of the rooted area will be hit by a blizzard.
Yeah, Blythawk almost taking the Dragon Knight, but Sylvanas doing a good job of making sure she does not get to until her teammates join her. Jordo and Killusion make it so that Blythawk does get to wail on this mid tower.
ETC almost picked up that top shrine, but wasn't quite able to do so. This is a very early Dragonite, so it's already taking a lot of damage. You typically don't get too many structures off of the early Dragonite. They did pick up a tower. That's just going to help secure their experience lead even more, and they're just going to continue to waffle back and forth, maybe throw damage from that Dragon Breath as they can on the towers, and possibly pick up a kill if anyone gets too far out of place.
Absolutely. We now see 3 in the mid. Dragon Knight, though, is rotating to the top lane where only Meadowtown is there to defend. He's going to get booted, but not very far. Blythawk is going to go to work on this tower, trying to make sure that as much damage is gotten out of this early Dragon Knight as possible.
Yeah, the booting angle is always kind of a bit strange there. But that time he got a little bit better of a boot. They're really trying to catch this tower. It's pretty low, but there goes the Dragonite. Blythawk was low on health and had to consider that coming out. But they have picked up their level 10 talents now, and they would love to make a fight happen.
Yeah, those level 10 talents, heroics, are going to be Summon Water Elemental for Jaina, Rain of Vengeance for Vala, Apocalypse for Diablo, Tranquility from Malfurion, and Sundering from Thrall. Sundering, really cool in case you're not familiar, is going to be sundering the earth in a long line after a short delay, does some damage, and it shoves enemies to the side as well as stuns them. So it can be a big disruption in terms of team fights and CC.
I wonder if we're gonna see them try to maybe even pair that with the Apocalypse. I don't even know how trying to make that work would go, but we may see it. Now we see Hero picking up their heroic abilities as well, so they are caught back up in talents. We've got Hinterland Blast, Wailing Arrow, Starfall, Stage Dive, and the Divine Shield. No storm for me today, I guess.
Oh, sorry. I tried to convince them, but it didn't work.
I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Looks like Wild Growth realizing that their opponents are down here on these bottom bruisers and are going to go in. Stage Dive comes down with Meadowtown, and Collusion and Jimmy are now not in a position they want to be in. Jimmy solo and will go down. Collusion and Blythawk now running for their lives as those bruisers wait. And only 2 of them left, but they will become healthy again. But instead of going for them, it looks like Hero is going to be looking to push down this bottom lane, which is a great decision, Gilly. Yeah,
it's an excellent opportunity for them to make an experience lead for themselves, and especially since they have that Sylvanas too, they can take down towers so quickly. Something to note there was there were 2 heroes up top, one for each team when that fight broke out, but one was Thrall and one was ETC, who has the Stage Dive. He was able to jump right into that fight, and Thrall had to just mount up and run all the way down there. So that's what made the decision of that fight, was the fact that it was a 4v5 fight for too long, and they just weren't able to escape.
Yeah, in this map, it's so handy to be able to jump across the map that way. And both Falstad and ETC can do that, so Hero Kill Hero does have that going for them.
Yes, for sure. They've got the global map presence for sure, and they're coming up. Both teams have a shrine. Sylvanas and Falstad are trying to deal with those bottom bruisers who actually did get picked up by Wild Growth. So they've got a little bit of breathing room. They can try to make a fight happen, maybe catch somebody out of position as they're going up to top shrine. Meadowtown's going to run away, but they've got heroes on the bottom lane who can go ahead and pick it up, and we're back to the seesaw, Anna.
Yeah, Collusion looks like he was waiting to see if maybe they could pick up the Dragon Knight while Hero Kill Hero was not interested in the bottom shrine, but they are going to take that bottom shrine, and then while everybody's up in the top, they're going to go ahead and look to take this fort as well.
Yeah, with Sylvanas, they've got the advantage to do this here. Collusion and Blythawk weren't far away. They are going to rotate down, as is the rest of the team. But that means that ETC's up top picking up the shrines, and now both are for Hero. Falstad flies in instantly, but everyone's there trying to catch him. He does not get rooted. Oh, actually turns around and goes back into the root, takes a lot of damage from Jaina. There's the Starfall. ETC stage dives in, but kind of misses, but is on the back line. And Jaina, deleted from that Hinterland Blast, will give them the edge in the fight. There goes Apocalypse. Doesn't hit anybody except ETC, and that's not going to help too much. He is getting pretty low. They do pick him up. So now it is 1-1 once again. But both teams going to back away, I think, lick their wounds just a little bit here.
Looks like See Hero Kill Hero is still interested in grabbing this Dragon Knight, and while they have the attention of all 4 of Wild Growth, they can tempt them into re-engaging in a fight, which looks like it's what they want. Collusion, though, jumping in on LC Gamer, overpowering and pulling him back into the fight. He will go down, so Lex Luthor, Nerd, and Sunshine will have to back off if they don't want to lose their lives.
There was the overpower into the entangling roots, and I was so excited. It was perfectly executed. It was so good. And now, once again, with Collusion's back in, trying to overpower Nerd, who is able to get away. Roots weren't quite there yet. And from there, Jaina is down at the bottom. Respawned. Fresh does pick up that shrine. And for now, the threat is over of a Sea Hero Dragon.
Interesting to note, though, both teams fairly even in terms of experience, and 5 kills to 3 kills, so these teams trading very well, and I have to wonder if Wild Growth is a little bit surprised, being kind of one of the reigning champions here at the HeroesHype Amateur Series, and looking at See Hero Kill Hero as a newcomer to the scene.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about that. But the Falstad picking up the Giants there reminded me that he did pick up Bribe, which we hardly ever see. It's almost always Power Throw at level 1. But that just enables them to quickly get some Mercs and be able to throw pressure off, which is something that they needed there so that the Mercs could kind of counter each other as Wild Growth was picking up their own Giants.
We are at level 14 and 11 minutes into the game, so we're starting to transition into a different phase of the game. Ooh, Grim Reef, we are getting very endangered, but Collusion, Jordo, and Jimmy coming in to protect the Jaina. There are now 5 members against 3 members. Wild Growth going for See Hero Kill Hero, and they will phase them out. Blythock will be able to grab the Dragon Knight here.
There it is. They grabbed the next Dragon Knight, and at a little bit later in the game, it's going to do a lot more damage. So we'll have to see. We do have Giants pushing in toward that fort, which is low. Grim Reaper's going to go back and try to deal with it while the dragon pushes. It's up on the gate. It's taken down the gate. Now it's going for fort.
Yeah, very interesting decision to go top there. A great one because the rest of See Hero Kill Hero was hanging out in mid, having to do some defense. But the remainder of Wild Growth is now pushing bottom. So we've got a split push going on. Blythock is going to be in danger, but that may be something that Wild Growth knew and is not too worried about, as Blythock will retreat, but the rest of the team is getting a lot done in the bottom lane.
Yeah, when the dragon expires, it does blow up and push people back just a little bit. So he would have the opportunity to quickly vault away, as that's Vala inside the dragon suit there. But while that's going on, he perfectly distracted a lot of team members from See Hero because his teammates were able to pick up that fort on bottom, and that just means that they are reaching that level 16 point. They've crossed that threshold and have grabbed their talents, and now See Hero has got to watch out. They need to pick up some experience before they re-engage.
Both teams opting to pick up some bruisers, although Wild Growth is going to take the bottom bruisers, which in terms of the map don't belong to anybody. Those are the ones you want to grab because they're kind of up for grabs. They're not on anyone's side of the map. So See Hero Kill Hero is going to grab their bruisers on their side. Wild Growth is going to pick up the bottom ones and their own bruisers, as it were. And so we will see some mercenaries jumping into the lanes. The top lane is going to need some defense from Wild Growth. But we see Hero Kill Hero grouping up and now deciding, it looks like, to spread out in lanes, or are they going to engage here?
Well, they know they're really close to 16th. They can just get it, but unfortunately, they're going to be engaged upon. They really are going to get away. They know that they have to. They do not want to try to fight with those 16 talents in favor of Wild Growth, and they know they're really close, so they could do that. And with these minions, they should grab it, and there they go.
Yeah, and we saw Tranquility go down for Jimmy, so actually if See Hero Kill Hero could get an engagement here, they may have baited out some of those ultimates from their opponents, but it looks like they won't be able to do that. They're instead going to push mid, bringing down a tower, and now rotating towards stealing the Giants? Nope, toward the bottom lane.
Yeah, they know that that fort is so close. Just a couple of hits will secure that they kill it. And there they go. But will they get out in time, or will we see Wild Growth engaging in? They're trying to. They're coming around. They're going to pick up these Giants instead. And here's See Hero. They want to engage. They don't want to let Wild Growth grab these, and they will grab them. Wild Growth lets them have them.
Yeah, I guess they didn't feel like they had a favorable engagement there. They weren't willing to give up a kill, and instead we'll just take down these Giants. Nobody can have them, which I guess is a fine trade as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Tranquility had been popped earlier and was still down on top of that, and they knew that's where a lot of their healing, almost all of it, comes in except for the regrowth. And so they just want to be cautious there. It's still down for 20 more seconds, but they are posturing around this bottom shrine. Well, ETC is going up to the top one. Remember, he can always go there and stage dive if his team gets in trouble.
Absolutely. And we do have 2 Siege Giants as well as some minions going to be pushing down here in the bottom lane against Wild Growth. They seem to be heading up toward the top, though, defending in the mid and also looking toward that top shrine, making sure that their opponents don't get a Dragon Knight. Actually, instead, they're going to defend the Dragon Shrine right here in the middle. Collusion looking to engage on LC Gamer, who is able to get away. Oh, so much happening. Apocalypse, Hinterland Blast, Starfall, everything is going off. And we do see Thrall fall for Wild Growth, as well as Uther now for DC Hero Kill Hero. Meadowtown gets overpowered, will be very low, but will he be able to get out? Ooh, that tanky ETC is able to tap well. In the meantime, Falstad does fall, as well as Jaina. It's 2 for 2 now in this team fight. Nerd will join the dead. Taronda will fall. So it's just Sylvanas and ETC up for C Hero Kill Hero. That might not be enough to grab this Dragon Knight that they earned with their 2 shrines, Gilly.
I don't think it will be, but it does mean that Wild Growth has to watch the mid here until they pick up one of the shrines, which Malfurion is now doing up top. What I wanted to know is that the Water Elemental was able to secure a kill on that Falstad, and Jaina was already dead. That's one of the great things about Water Elemental, is that it'll keep attacking on heroes even if you die, and it did so as well. So Collusion is here at the bot picking up this shrine. Sunshine would like to deny it, but knows it's not really going to happen, and here Malf is going to try to pick up the dragon, but Meadowtown is here to try to stop it. Both teams 18 with a slight experience lead for Wild Growth.
Yeah, both shrines growing blue, but we know that doesn't necessarily last long. Meadowtown's going to grab that one in the top and is going to be able to stage dive into a fight if one is happening somewhere else on the map.
Oh man, Sylvanas tried to hit B and back. She knew she was surrounded by heroes, but didn't quite get there in time and will go down. So for 40 seconds now, Wild Growth has the upper hand. They've got 5 heroes up to the 4 of C Hero, who just kind of are going to try to rotate around and keep whatever shrine Wild Growth isn't grabbing, which right now is bot.
Wild Growth has another advantage coming up, though. As soon as they hit 20, they're going to have this brief window where they have Storm Talents and their opponents do not, and they're going to be looking for an engagement there. So we have dragon issues, we have team fight issues, we have mercenaries going on. It's all sorts of things that could happen here on the map.
C Hero grabbed the Mercs down on bottom. That will help them at least put a little bit of pressure on their team, maybe even delay the dragon for a bit longer, but they still don't have their tank for 40 seconds. Sylvanas is just now up, and level 20 talents are in for Wild Growth. And I just want to point out that we have Icy Veins, Snow Crash, and Arcane Power for Jaina. Not even trying to pick up Sprint or the improved Ice Block. Once again, going straight for damage, being very confident in your positioning. Vala also taking Tempered by Discipline, Nexus Frenzy, and the Blood for Blood. So same thing, super, super aggressive, and that is going to help them out as they pick up the Sylvanas kill, and they're going for this mid-fort.
Yeah, I think they know that they need to have as much damage as possible to compete with the mobility of their opponents.
Yeah, very true. And they're also doing a really good job of keeping the Gathering Power Stacks and Falstad low. They've been going after them quite a bit too, so that's going to also help just make sure they're out-damaging their opponents. Now, there is a Starfall drop down. It's doing a lot of damage to Blythawk, who is also going to get Lunar Flared on top of that. So Dragon Knight's going out pretty quickly, but they will secure that mid keep, and that's what they really, really wanted. Nerd is now going to be overpowered, will be able to run away, though, just in time. There goes the Apocalypse, with everyone from Wild Growth still in on the core, with Blythawk and the dragon still wailing away on it. Here goes the Hinterland Blast. Doesn't take anybody out, though, and Sylvanas is still down for another 7 seconds. Finally, Jaina goes down, but it's going to be too late. They're throwing so much damage on this core, and this will be first game going to Wild Growth.
Yep, at that point, even if team members get taken down for Wild Growth, they have enough damage to bring it down. And so very good choices for them to go super aggressive there. They knew that's what they needed, and it worked for them. They will take the game. And this is the first of a best of 3, though. So C Hero Kill Hero can now kind of regroup and say, what can we do better next game? And what would you recommend for them, Gilly?
You know, it was pretty close. I think maybe they were a little bit taken aback, like in terms of damage between the Vala, Jaina, and then even throwing out good damage. But if you look, like Vala had 45k hero damage, which doesn't always make everything, but they also did a really good job of keeping Sylvanas at bay with pushing. There were a couple times that they had that free push sort of on bot, but they really didn't ever get to keeps or anything like that, and that's really the key there. So it was a really good draft overall, and maybe not allow Jaina Vala to go to both, for both to go to one team.
I certainly have to say, though, that I think the game could have gone either way, and I think the window that we saw where, as you mentioned, those builds had become so damage heavy, and we saw level 20 happening for wild growth and all of that. I think that they took advantage of that window. If they hadn't, though, I don't think the game would have been certainly sealed in their favor. So see Hero, Kill Hero having a solid strategy as well, and I'm interested to see what we see from them in the next game, because I think these are some teams with a fun matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I'm ready for the next game. We're going to take a quick break while we set that up and get through the map vetoes, and then we will be right back.